anxietycenter.com.
Yes, I'm Vanessa, by the way.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you've done. You and your team. I started following you about 3 years ago, and I had severe case of derealization, depersonalization, repetitive singing, and I couldn't find any sources, any help. And when I found you, I got rid of all of that. So I just want to say thank you so much for all your help.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to hear you experience such good symptom relief. That darn repetitive thinking can be annoying, hey?
I just want to say thank you. And that you are like an angel sent from God. And I just really appreciate all of the help that you've brought to all of us. And I no longer have that. And if it does pop up here and there, I don't fear it because this, repetitive singing happens to all of us and it's normal. Now I see it as just a normal thing. It just goes away. So thank you. But I do have something going on that just started 4 weeks ago. And you've talked about it and I've heard your Skype calls about it. And I guess it's tinnitus. And I know you've been talking about it lately a lot. I know a lot of people are getting that symptom because of anxiety. Yeah. I did go see a doctor and they said my neck, my hearing everything is fine. And I seen an audiologist and I also seen a neck and head surgeon because I was just like, what is going on? I'm a dancer, so I tend to flip my head a lot. So I thought I probably punctured something or pinched a nerve. But apparently I didn't. So I only hear it at night when I'm about to go to sleep. It does it does stop me from getting a full night's sleep. But I've learned to kind of accept it right now at this moment. I've just been meditating and just kind of, it's like, oh, it's just there. But how would I know for sure it's like a stress symptom and not something else, because I keep thinking, what if it's something else? What if it's not due to stress? And I think that's just in the back of my mind.
Sure.
What if it's something else? And I think it's just anxiety that's causing me to think that way.
Yeah. Can I ask your approximate age range? 20s, 30s, 40s?
Yes, I'm in my mid 30s.
Okay, gotcha. I asked that question because, as we get older, hearing loss can contribute to tinnitus, but 30s, that wouldn't certainly qualify for you. Typically what we see in almost every single case, we see people who struggle with tinnitus related to stress, period. And we've done extensive research on that. And I experienced that symptom a lot way back in the days when I was struggling with anxiety disorder. And it pops up now and then when I let my stress get too high. So I know for a fact it is definitely stress related for a lot of people. The problem is that we start reacting to it as if we don't want it. And then that becomes our stressor. So, for example, if we're not used to it, we don't like the hissing sound there or the buzzing or whatever it is that you have. And then we start reacting to it and we start distressing about it and we start thinking about it and then we start wondering if it's this or that. And all of those kind of behaviors to sort of keep that stress elevated enough to keep tinnitus around. That's a very common thing we see so often. And then people get impatient because it's one of those symptoms like dizziness for some people that just hangs on. And even though we don't feel stressed, it can just still be there, And you probably noticed that it changes in volume, correct?
It does. I feel like in the morning, as soon as I wake up, it's a little bit louder.
Yeah.
But it's only at night. I only hear it during nighttime. And, I've learned to kind of just I do accept that it's there. And because all the techniques and everything that your therapists have taught and, all the things that I've read, I have a lot of tools in my bag. And in the beginning, I had really bad anxiety about it and I was crying about it. And I thought, oh my God, this is going to be here the rest of my life because that's what the doctor told me. They said, you have to live with it. And it was brand new to me and I got worried.
Yeah.
I was like that for maybe about 2 weeks. And then I started doing my meditations and breathing techniques and that eased it. So I feel more peace with it. And I'm just pretty much like now accepting the fact that, okay, it's there and it's probably due to stress because I was stressing a lot these past few months, but now I've learned to calm, my anxiety down with it and see it as a different perspective. And it definitely helps. It's because of you that I've accepted it, because of all the reading that I've done. Had I not seen that tinnitus was a symptom related to anxiety, I think I would have still been going crazy right now about it.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Oh, well, thank you very much for your kind comments. I'm glad our information is able to help. That's great.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, so many people experience the symptoms, and it is distressing if we think we're never going to get rid of it. Of course, then when we go to the doctor and they give us information, well, I have to live with it and it's caused by X, Y, Z, and then they don't really know either. Well, of course, we come back to stress and then the other thing that we do typically, we start to imagine it getting worse and worse and worse and worse until we're really bothered by it, and then that gets upsetting, and so we get this whole snowball rolling. But if you realize it is just an indication of increased electrical activity in the brain, because that's really what it comes down to. For years, when we were putting our information together, there was hardly anything known about it. They often said that it was caused by damage to the ear, or some of the things it was mechanical. And, we experienced that for a fact it wasn't, because none of us had ear damage. It just popped up right after a stressful experience, which it most often does for a lot of people. So we know that it was tied to it, but recently now we're getting good research to back up what we've been saying 20 years ago, that it is related to the increase in stimulation or electrical activity in the brain that then generates phantom sounds, and that's just one of them. So it's not ear-related. Again, I want to qualify that, but some people can get this if they have had ear trauma. That's just a fact. That's just how it works. You can get tinnitus through damage to the ear and how the ear responds to sounds. But for the rest of us, it's just not that. It's just stress related. So as we get our stress down, as the electrical activity in the body starts to diminish, you'll see that will start to ebb down. And then it won't, it's not something you just wake up and it's gone one day. It slowly disappears and it becomes less problematic. And the less we react to it and we sort of forget about it, it also helps to disappear. So you'll find that as you keep reducing your stress, you'll probably see the symptom taper off and disappear as well, especially as you become less reactive and just ignore it, really. That's what a lot of us do. You just get so used to it, we don't even pay attention to it anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the answer.
Oh, you're welcome. I want to ask you, if you were to rate your symptoms now, 0 to 100%, 100% you have maximum symptoms, full strength, 0 means you don't have any symptoms, where do you think your symptoms are now?
So at night, I'd probably say about 30%, between 30 and 40%.
Okay. So you still have some hyperstimulation going on then?
I'd like to say yes. I need to calm my body down. I was in a really stressful situation. I kept getting chronic sore throats, and I was worried that it was the COVID, which, I was getting tested for that, but I just kept getting it, and I was stressing about that so much.
Yeah.
And I think after that, I got the ringing going on in my ear. So I was very, very stressed out. Okay. But I know that you had mentioned something about that you can damage your ear, but because I did check my hearing and all that, and it came back that everything is good.
Yeah.
So that most likely means, because the doctor did say I could have damaged the cochlea or something, or the little hair follicles in there. They're not 100% sure. And so that scared me. I was like, what if, because I've been dancing for years and I do listen to really loud music. Well, I was. So I'm like, I'm wondering if I caused ear damage, or that the little hair follicles to damage because of all the loud music that I was playing every single day when I was teaching classes. I'm just putting that in my head too. So,
when they talk about damaged hearing, it takes a lot to damage hearing. I played in a rock band for years, and right beside loud amplifiers and drum kits and things. And I didn't have tinnitus back then. And when I struggled with anxiety disorder, that's when it showed up. And of course, when I went for my ear test too, they said, oh, you played in a loud rock band and it's going to be this and that. And, the same old thing. It could be, because a lot of times they just guess, because again, they just don't know. Oh yeah, you've done this and you'll just have to live with it and yada, yada, yada. And I thought, well, it doesn't make sense. I didn't have it when I was playing in the band. And I played, like night after night in front of these loudspeakers. But when I got my stress down and really worked at getting rid of that hyperstimulation, the whole thing cleared off. I got nothing. And so I know mine was definitely related to stress. And a person has to go through significant loud experience or several to really damage that. And it's usually uncommon. And because there was so much guesswork with tinnitus for so many years, that's what a lot of doctors will say. But now with the new research showing that it's actually not hearing related at all, it just really just fits nicely with what we talk about. And I think because you have 30 to 40% symptom, at night, it means your body's still somewhat stimulated, and of course that will account for tinnitus for a while and it'll linger. The other thing I wanted to ask you too is how rigorous is your dancing and how often?
I was teaching for 7 years every day. Well, Monday through Thursday, only for an hour a day. Now I'm only teaching Tuesday nights, and I just been teaching Tuesday nights for about 6 months.
Gotcha,
I mean, it's outdoor, so the speaker's kind of far away.
Okay. And what is it? Is it a strenuous dance?
It's like a dance fitness.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, so there is a lot of movement to my head. I'm flipping my hair a lot, and I don't tend to stretch my head out prior to teaching the class, which I know that's not good. But yeah, I was teaching like that for about 7-8 years, and I was always used to the movements in my head. And then when I started slowing down, then I felt this tension in my neck. And then the next day is when I started hearing the tinnitus. But it's kind of funny because I feel like a month prior to that, I was hearing tinnitus ringing in my ear, and I was like, oh, there's ringing in my ear, and I didn't think anything of it. And then it went away, but then it came back a month later, and then it just lingered on.
Sure. Yeah. And well, I was asking about the exercise, not so much about the neck movements, but more about the strenuous nature of the exercise. Because as you know, strenuous exercise stresses the body and increases cortisol. And of course,
yes, I do get, yes.
So if we're trying to reduce cortisol and stress, you see how that's not going to work very well.
I see your point, because my heart rate does go above where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I do see your point on that, actually.
Yeah. It's just one
thing. I
thing.
got to take it down a notch.
Well, just until your body recovers, and then you're good to go. But as you're working at recovering, and since you still have some symptoms at night, that means there is still some hyperstimulation going on. The strenuous exercise isn't helping your body to move in the right direction. I mean, once a week isn't awful. So it's just that you might want to just tone it back a little bit until your symptoms, disappear, and then away you go again.
Okay, I will definitely do that. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. And thanks again for your kind comments. We're so thrilled that we're able to help.